quarter again. There were some plays that were just very simple that we didn't perform or execute correctly, and to their credit, they paid attention, and at no point in time do they ever not want to please. And it was good to see them do that, and it's a growing experience each time with them. I learn more about them. Obviously, they learn more about me, but I learn more about them on finding ways to help and assist. As we move into this week, it doesn't get any easier. I have a lot of respect for that staff. Know several of them. I've known Marvin for a long time. Paul Alexander's been the offensive line coach there about as long as all the different places I've been. Go back there all the time, and Paul's the offensive line coach, and I still see the same stuff as far as the good technique that he coaches. And there's a reason why when people come in there, they want Paul to stay. And then Bill Lazor and I spent some time together at the Washington Redskins many years ago when he was over on the offensive side of the ball those 4 years. And then it's been good to see him grow as he's moved up, in the National Football League, has been a coordinator and then also a coordinator at the Division I college level. And I've seen the different things that he's grown with, from Chip Kelly to Al Saunders to a lot of different other people he's been with. And now he gets a chance, and we're seeing the things that he believes in. And I'm also seeing him move things in the direction of what the skill set of players he's using and he has to work with. So it'll be a good home divisional game, and our guys are very well ready for it. Questions?
What did you see from Miles on the practice field, and what do you get if
Miles was good, and again, the things that people don't realize is all the other things behind the scenes he does, and with you guys, asking that question and everything, is that I'm going to be even more excited to talk about things that you guys talk about in the game. Practice is practice. That's who said that? No, I'm not Allen Iverson, but I'm just kidding. And but he's out there, but he's been working so hard behind the scenes and hasn't missed a meeting. And like I said, he has the respect of everybody in the locker room, the training room, the strength department, the coaching, all that stuff. So we'll see, as he takes steps, and see how his body handles it.
This week you talked about how you pride yourself as a defensive coordinator, the halftime, mid-game adjustments. We obviously see that in the games. There's a stark contrast between first and second half. What has to happen to translate what's happening in the second half is how you...
There has to be an immediacy, and that's a very good question. And there has to be an immediacy within a series or prior to the next series. There has to be more of that. And as a staff, they're working very hard with that. And the big thing is that as you work and say what you want to say, or however you're bringing your points across, is each person that you deal with under stress handles it differently. And again, I would much rather evaluate people under stress in all walks of life, not only competition, of athletic competition. And sometimes you have to, get a guy to step away a little bit, take a breath, shake the cobwebs out. And all of a sudden, I see that. Now, when they do make a mistake, or when anybody does make a mistake, especially under stress and high competition time, sometimes they don't even know it. Sometimes, until they see it on film. And I always smile when we're coaching a particular technique, they're attempting to do it exactly what you're saying, how you're saying it. But until they see it on film, their mind's telling them to do one thing, but their body's doing another thing. So sometimes that happens that way, even to from first half, second half, even to that. The halftime, all of a sudden, the eyes are off of them, because even when we're doing adjustments between series, they know that they're under watch. And that's just how each individual person handles it. And I learned, and they learn from me. I think you see me be calmer on game day than I am at practice, because that's one of our philosophies. One of my philosophies that I pass down is what I call organized chaos. And that is, how do I push practice real hard in the stressful situations that they have to block things out, and I learn more about them. They got to block certain aspects out. And so far, both times that we've had to make those type of things happen at halftime, they've done very well with it. Coaches, I'm talking about the other assistants I'm dealing with, and players. And we just got to get it to happen sooner than that. That comes with more time on task, and that typically comes with more experience and them thinking about what I'm going to talk to them about even before I say it. It's fun when you all of a sudden you're walking over to a guy on the sideline and he's all of a sudden spitting things out, knowing this is what I'm going to say. You know, I got him. You know, why scream and holler at him when he didn't do it on purpose? He didn't do it on purpose, but he gets it. And the more of those type of things happen, the better and faster responses will be in the game.
What can anybody reasonably expect from Miles if he does play, even on a limited basis, given that he's missed a significant amount of time over the last 3
Miles
weeks?
will always play hard. Miles will always do that. And, you know, one of the things, too, wherever we've been is, and I've mentioned this to you guys before, as a defensive lineman, you can't play 100% of the snaps. And again, we were doing this on a staff when I was in an old George Allen principal staff many years ago at the Houston Oilers. And we were rotating linemen in way before it became popular, because on how we want them to play physical, fast, extreme effort. Well, this is a 300-pound man that's in a fist fight in a phone booth. So that guy is not going to be able to play the way a DB that's smaller and or in different space areas that's going to be able to handle that. Miles will get snaps when he's healthy. But the thing that I do like here is also it's when everything goes into it and he's healthy. Another thing, you know, and I know you guys have to ask that question, there's nobody in the National Football League 100% healthy when they play. Nobody, okay? Coaches, whether it's me being mentally unhealthy, okay, or physically. And so when he's ready to cut it loose and there's no setbacks, he'll be fine. And we'll use him in lots of different ways.
Greg, Jamar Taylor took a lot of the blame for T.Y. Hilton's big first half on his shoulders. What does he need to do better? And do you see him after working with him this season?
Oh, he's excellent. And and Jamar's one of our captains. He's excellent. You know, he made a couple mistakes, but he made corrections, you know, and he didn't make any of the mistakes on purpose. And he made corrections from a focus, angles, anticipation things, guessed wrong a couple times. And, you know, when I've kind of told you guys before, can you tell me the difference between anticipation and guesses? And well, I got hired to correct wrong guesses. If you won't guess, then you're never going to anticipate. And he had a couple wrong ones. You know, the one long one, we would have liked to be able to get him down, and he knows that. He knows that he had some opportunity there to get him down. So did some other people. You know, a 9-yard throw that turns into a 61-yard touchdown. One of our principles is there are going to be explosive plays in every game, but we've done a good job at minimizing those since we've been here. No explosive plays for a score. Give us another chance to play goal line. Give us another chance to play red zone. Give us another chance to play third down. Give us another chance to play first down. But, you know, that was the thing that I'm sure he was upset about. We all were. To his credit, you know, there's a young man that fought and played really well in the second half. He could have let that, you know, paralyze him. He didn't let it paralyze him. You know, you got to get ready to go. Some of the best corners that I've ever had a chance to coach have the shortest memories during a game of anybody, because they're on an island all the time. And a couple times he was, a couple times he wasn't. But our guys did a good job responding in the right way.
What did the Colts do in that first half? I mean, they had, I think, 4 or 5 plays over 20 yards.
Yeah, the big thing there was a couple of them, and again, you see how many of them were thrown past 20? Hardly any. Okay, and they were run after catches and, you know, poor angles on our part. And, you know, they did a good job with that, because we've done a very good job of minimizing some of those things. Max protection, you know, we got 3 sacks in the game, but we missed 4 or 5 more through execution of whatever the line. We call it a game when it's a pass rush game, and we call it a stunt when it's a stunt versus the run. But we had a couple of things. We had a couple of blitzes where, we had wrong gap fits, and then to the credit, as soon as that happens, there's not a faraway look in their eyes. They say, I missed that, and boom, they made the corrections right in the second half and played a lot smarter, let me put it that way. And again, football intelligence is different than overall intelligence. You got to be able to play, same way you play on the driveway, same way you play in the street, same way you play in the backyard. And if you think that X's and O's, the way you do it on a video screen or the way you do it on a playbook page is going to happen that way, it's not. And how you react to things when it gets off script. And we had a couple of poor reactions, and they did a great job correcting those things on the feel of the game.
Given Antonio Brown and what he was able to do with, just at least from a yard.
Antonio Brown only had one catch that upsets me. The other ones were minimal underneath zone throws and zone coverage where we made the ball go where we wanted it to go. The other ones, again, the one long catch there, that was the one that upset me more than anything. Go ahead.
You've got another, big name guy coming up on Sunday, and AJ Green, he's coming off a big game. How do you approach this? What's
one of the things I think Bill did a good job of, Bill Laser, of finding ways for him to get the ball. And, what we're going to have to do is you'll see us play some good leverage technique type things, even if it's in zone. But AJ's one of those guys that is in the league where we have to know where he is at all time, maybe more so than anybody else we've played so far, in all honesty. And you'll see our guys, with a couple of attention span type things on where we'll have certain leverage things towards him. But when you overly dedicate more than what's needed there, then you leave yourself gap deficient in the run game. And they've always been able to run the ball there. And we've got to do a very good job in the run game, and we have for the most part all year. We look back on a couple of games ago, and that one run, like I said, it popped right there before the half, on a particular thing that could never happen in. But, again, we have to execute those things, and to our guys' credit, they're doing it every week. So we've got to do a good job there, not only with AJ. They've got some other really good players, too. I think they've got a very talented football team. And people are, maybe questioning them also on some of the performance levels. And it's funny how every game takes on a life of its own. We can predict, and we can sit here and we work all week long and practice on how we think the game is going to go, on how we think they're going to operate. But once you get in the game, you got to be able to react to it. Colts did nothing new. Okay, and we reacted to it well. We misplayed a couple of run after catches after that, and we misplayed two things down in the low red zone where there's zero excuse for scrambling. Zero excuse. We didn't play those right, but they made the corrections right on what was said to them and how they had to go about doing it. And to their credit, I was very proud of their execution.
What does that mean for you, and what did you get out of Burgess the other day?
Burgess played very well. I'm glad you asked about that because he played well, and he was very attacking. And he has very good instincts in zone coverage. Where when I say that, he feels he knows where the ball's going before it's thrown. And I learned a long time ago from Buddy Ryan, as you cover the guy that's being thrown to, not where you think the playbook page told you to do, and Burge has some of that. But he played well, he played strong. We'll rotate a lot of different packages. We're going to see a lot of 3 wide receiver packages out of these guys, but they've got their multiple tight end packages too. And Burge can play in both of those packages. Again, like I said, he plays 4 positions for us, and he played 2 out of the 4 last week, and he may play more this week. We'll see.
You're still kind of new to us. Was last week, that second quarter, humbling at all, and is that a good thing, or is that just not a term?
Humbling to me and to us, you mean? Or it's pissed off. And, and you can say, I don't think the word would ever cross my mind in a humbling way like that. It's a production way. It is, that's not how we go about doing things. That's not how we practice to do things. That's not how we prepare to do things. And all good players, every one of them, want to be taught, motivated, and inspired. They know they were taught and motivated, inspired to do a certain thing on those concepts, and they took ownership of it. And when players and coaches together own things together, we got chances to make corrections. Just like we say, we've already talked about, from a statistical standpoint, you can see the production changes or whatever. Sometimes you don't see it, even though when I see it, from a performance on a guy away from the play, from a guy that is produced, that forces the ball to go a certain place. And that production's important too. And to these credit, these guys, they didn't like it, but throwing a tantrum or cause and effect, you still have to be able to affect change coming out of those situations, and they did affect change. Another thing that we've done very well here is, in that opening game against Pittsburgh, and I think I mentioned to you that, we don't like the fact, at the end of a game, whenever there's a drive, a first down is achieved in what we call a 4-minute situation, and now you can take a knee. We've had 5 since then, and they're 5-0, doing what they have to do on getting our offense back out there, and or one time taking the ball away and almost having a chance to score. So in those situations, there is drastic improvement, and sometimes those drastic improvements nobody sees but us, and that's okay. I'm not coaching fans or all that kind of stuff. I got to coach these guys when they come back in here every Monday morning, and they've done very well. They've done well. All right, thank you guys.